thank you so much for being here today, dropping into my YouTube channel to dial me in to the world of Nike and Alphafly.
Yeah.
Walk me through like what's happening with Alphafly for 2024 and all things Alphafly.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for us. We feel like we've set a really high bar. The early iterations of the Alphafly already helped Eliud Kipchoge break the 2-hour marathon. We've had a lot of athletes achieve their own personal bests. So to update that and get even better is a high bar, but that's also what motivates to show up to work every day. So it always starts with listening to the voice of the athlete. What are they telling us could be better? And in this case, it was actually pretty clear what they wanted us to work on. So they wanted the Alphafly to have better transition. They wanted it to be more stable and be more comfortable, all the while not sacrificing the great propulsion, protection, and lightweight nature that they loved in the 1 and the 2. So the first thing you'll notice looking at the Alphafly 3, it's the first Alphafly with a continuous bottom. So we used to have that brake behind the airbag and the heel. This allows us to create a much smoother transition, not just for the world's best, but also for mere mortals like you and I. A lot more wide range of foot strikes. The next thing we did was work on stability. So we've fleshed out the midfoot significantly and adjusted the last.
So it's wider a little bit?
Wider, exactly. The plate got wider and the last got amended to make it more stable and reduce some irritation people were having in the arch. And we put a little bit more soft materials in the toe also to make it more comfortable, reduce some irritation points people had. All that felt like it should be adding to the shoe. There's more foam here, more foam there, but we've also been reductive in other areas and in our material choices, notably the outsole. It's a new outsole material called Fast Shot. Those efforts helped us make the shoe the lightest Alphafly yet. It's 220 grams in a men's 9. It's the lightest one yet, and we've also worked on the placement of the Zoom Air pods, allowing more material around them so there's better compression and travel to give you even more energy return. So we feel confident this is the fastest Alphafly to date, not just for the world's best, but when you think comfort, stability, transition, that's also going to be relevant to everyone from 2 to 3 to 4 plus hours in the marathon. So I think we're going to see this shoe on a lot of people's feet.
So when you started with Alphafly back in 2019, it was this like revolutionary shoe that all the pro athletes started wearing and they were PRing, and then it kind of like canvassed mainstream everyday athletes. And so you've gotten all this great feedback over the years. What is something that you kept from the original shoe that you found was like super amazing and revolutionary that everybody still loves, that is like a signature?
I think when you really look at the build kit of the shoe, we are using a lot of the same ingredients. So I like to talk about making shoes like cooking a meal, and the first thing you have to start with is great ingredients. You can't make a beautiful meal without really good stuff to put in, and we still have the best ingredients in the world. ZoomX foam, our carbon fiber fly plate, and Zoom Air. Those are the 3 magical ingredients that really make the shoe work. Since then, it's really been refining the recipe. What are the proportion of the ingredients? How do we process them? Where do we put them to make the best possible shoe we can? So there's a lot of things that are similar in the Alphafly from 1 to 2 to 3. It's just been this optimization all the way through that's still making meaningful strides forward.
How many marathons do you think someone could run in this shoe? Because we know, and I know that's subjective, but like estimation, like not facts, but maybe like just an estimation.
So as you know, you're already hinting at, it's so different individual. I bet you get a lot more miles out of your shoes than I do, just because you're smaller and you get more efficient there.
I'm also slower.
But what we do know is from our wear testers, they can take this shoe up to 250 miles and it still feels really great. So
that's
we're
great.
confident that we're not making a huge sacrifice in terms of durability, and we're also proud that we're able to offer it very similar pricing. So we haven't taken up huge leaps and bounds. So this is a $285 shoe in the US. So great durability, pricing staying very similar, and it's going to work for not just the world's best, but it's going to work for everybody really, really well.
And what would be a comparable training shoe that someone could use with this shoe so that, we talk a lot about not using your race day shoe every day, like preserving it. Like, is there a match shoe that you would recommend?
There is, actually. So we talked about the magic ingredients that make the Alphafly so special. What's also an advantage to us is we're able to say, are some of those ingredients relevant for training? So you have ZoomX, you have Zoom Air in that plate. Plates do give it a more rigid, more of a race day propulsive-like feel, but the foam and the air are very relevant just for your daily miles. So we have air in the Pegasus and the Structure, and we also use ZoomX appropriately in the Vomero The new Vomero uses Zoom X on the top and Cushlon 3.0 on the bottom to create a great, nice, smooth ride with the same kind of cushion and protection and propulsion you get in the Alphafly and the Vaporfly. And then my personal favorite, I shouldn't say, because we have all these shoes. It's like kids. You shouldn't say you have a favorite.
I know.
But I love the Invincible for that very reason. It feels like our race day shoes made right for training. So a really nice, healthy slab of Zoom X foam underfoot, geometry optimized just to make it feel smooth, just enough energy return to make those miles even more fun, but very protective as well.
So it's so you have the same feel, so there's no surprise on race day when you put your Alphaflys on. If you're running in any of these shoes, it's kind of a very similar ride.
It's a similar ride, but to your point, not quite like that race day. So it saves something special for race day, but there's some familiarity there for sure.
I think it's important that people, if you can, obviously, have a few shoes in their quiver because, if you think about it, it is an investment, but it's also like an investment in recovery, an investment in the health of your legs and your body physically. So if you're going to commit to running, you should have a few shoes in your quiver.
I think a quiver is a great word to use, and you're right, it feels like a bigger investment, but it's really just a bigger investment up front. You're overall going to spread those miles amongst the shoes. A lot of running injuries are overuse injuries, so I think using different shoes for different purposes and different days of the week is a great way to keep things fun, keep it interesting, keep healthy. I totally agree with you.
Now, Brett, how long have you been with Nike?
I've been with Nike almost 17 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what got you into running and into Nike?
I've been a runner my whole life. It was the first thing I was better than my big brother at, so a huge boost of self-esteem. Ran through high school, college. That's what brought me to the Nike campus. Started running a little bit post-collegiately and then realized that wasn't a lot of future in that for me. I wasn't nearly fast enough, but just was obsessed with the sport, wanted to stay as close to it as I could. So Nike's a dream job. It's like Disney for athletes, so I want to stay there as much as I can. So yeah.
And what's your favorite shoe? I know you can't really give your favorite shoe, but you can give me 3 of your favorite shoes. How's that?
Oh boy, that's hard. I've had a very Forrest Gump-like career. I was just right place, right time on a lot of them. I was able to be involved with the very first Vaporfly. That was really special. Yeah. Just watching that come together, kind of watching lightning strike, and then being able to proliferate that into the training line has also been really special. So the Peg Turbo 1 was the first shoe we brought Zoom X into training. The Invincible is a big favorite of mine. So yeah, hard to say only those favorites, but maybe the right cheesy answer is the next one, because we have knowing what's in the pipe is always really exciting. So yeah.
That's awesome.